After Uber, Ola and Rapido are under the investigation by the Central Consumer Protection Authority, which is CCPA, to check if they are forcing or nudging users to pay advance tips in exchange for quicker service. The probe follows a notice issued to Uber just a day earlier over the same practice. In fact, so that is the latest as far as the move against Uber, Ola and Rapido are concerned. We know for a fact that the consumer protection body had sent notice to Uber first over their practice of taking advance tip from users. Now, Ola and Rapido also under the scanner. Consumer Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi had said in a social media post that CCPA is thoroughly investigating other apps as well, like Ola and Rapido. They will also be served notice if they are found indulging in such practices. Earlier, of course, he had in fact spoken about how Uber had also practiced taking advance tips, and therefore notice had been sent to Uber initially. Let's go straight across to Ishika on this. Ishika, after Uber, now Ola and Rapido also under the radar. We believe that they are also being investigated to check if people are being forced to sort of pay advance tips in exchange for quicker service. Take us through the details of the notice that is already being served to Uber and any sort of reactions coming in from any of these aggregators.
Well, in fact, as you rightly mentioned that, we are seeing that, the union government has served notices to Ola, Uber and in fact Rapido also, and this is over their feature of advance tip. Now, what happens is when you are trying to book a ride on Ola or Uber or Rapido, there we generally see that a pop-up comes where, it is asked that you should pay advance tip of, it can range from 20 rupees to 50 rupees to 80 rupees to 100 rupees if you want a faster ride. That is, in fact, if you want the ride to come fast to you. But that's certainly over it. The Union Minister Prahlad Joshi has said that it is an unfair practice because tip is always meant to be done after the service, and that is why, in fact, it is being probed, by the union government now. Now, in fact, we have some people here also that I'll like to go across who use these apps on a daily basis. I'll go across to them. Sirs, if you can please come here. And my first question to you is that we see generally when you book an Ola and Uber app, there is something called advance tip. It asks you to give more if you want the ride to come fast to you. How do you see this? Because the central government has said that this is an unfair practice and now it is being probed. Do you see it as a sigh of relief for you all?
See, these kind of cars, or normally the cabs, either is Uber or Ola, they're all the same. The system is bad. They charge more money because they harass the people. Normally the customer, they want the urgent. They cut some, other first booking, and they said we can provide another one, but they charge more high. Maybe the 20 rupees or 40 rupees or 50 rupees. They depend. But I don't think so. It should be stopped. Because the government, if not interfere, is not stop it. So
government has now served notices to them. So do you think, in fact, it is a good thing that the government is finally intervening into this matter?
Definitely. Yeah, sure.
So, sir, in fact, what do you have to say? Because, even if it's Ola or even if it's, Uber, the system remains the same. They say that if you are not giving advance tips, so generally the cab comes to you after 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And generally we, look up to Ola and Uber only when we want a faster ride. So how do you see this?
It is better if you will pay in the advance and the Uber will come fast. So that is better for us. If they charge 20 rupees or 10 rupees or whatever the charge is. So I think it is not bad. It is if the Ola will come because the weather is very hot nowadays and we are standing in the outside and waiting for the Ola and it will become delayed. So we have to wait in very hot season. So that's better. We will pay and Ola will come within few minutes. So that is better for us. So
you were seeing, Radhika, here these are mixed reactions we are getting. People are saying that at the end the commuters should not suffer, especially especially in this harsh heat. Sir, I will like to ask you also. अभी आप देखें, आप कोई भी ऐप से गाड़ी बुक करते हैं, एक तो गाड़ी जो है वो जल्दी मिलती नहीं है. जल्दी मिलने के लिए जैसे ऊबर में ऊबर प्रायोरिटी ले आया गया है, ओला में देखिए तो एडवांस टिप मांगते हैं आपसे कि आप देंगे तभी आएगी ओला ऊबर जल्दी आपके पास. अब सेंटर ने जो है उसमें इंटरवीन किया है, कहा है कि ये अनफेयर प्रैक्टिस है. कैसे देखते हैं और सरकार को क्या कहें?
पब्लिक के फ़ायदे के लिए इन कंपनियों को सोचना चाहिए कि पब्लिक को कैसे फ़ायदा होगा. अब पब्लिक को फ़ायदा तो ऐसे ही हो सकता है कि बिल्कुल टाइमली जो भी टाइम दें और रेट वगैरह सारा ठीक हो इनके, वो बेटर है, उसी से फ़ायदा होता है. गवर्नमेंट को इस पर ध्यान देना चाहिए, इस पे पूरा ध्यान देना चाहिए कि कंपनियों पे भी कोई लगाम, कोई इनके लिए भी ऐसे पॉलिसी बनानी चाहिए जिससे ये पब्लिक को बेवकूफ़ ना बना सके और पब्लिक को ब्लैकमेल ना कर सके.
तो आपको लगता है कि अभी जो है नोटिस सर्व किए गए हैं, लेकिन इतनी जो बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज है ओला उबर, क्या आपको लगता है ये फाइनली मानेंगी और फाइनली आप जैसे कम्यूटर्स को रिलीफ मिलेगा, एडवांस टिप नहीं पे करना पड़ेगा, फिर भी फास्टर राइड आएंगे?
डेफिनेटली अगर गवर्नमेंट चाहेगी, गवर्नमेंट जो भी रूल बनाएगी, जो भी पॉलिसी बनाएगी, वो तो इनको फॉलो करनी ही पड़ेगी. नहीं फॉलो करेंगे तो गवर्नमेंट पेनल्टी लगाएगी या इनको जब्त करेगी. इनकी जो ट्रांसपोर्ट डिपार्टमेंट इनके हाथ में है, इनको चलने देना ना चलने देना सब गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में है. तो इनको गवर्नमेंट का कहना तो मानना ही पड़ेगा हर तरह से, जैसा भी है, अब मानना भी चाहिए.
सर, आप क्या कहेंगे? फाइनली नोटिस सर्व हो चुके हैं, क्या आपको लगता है एज अ कस्टमर, एज अ कम्यूटर, कि फाइनली आप लोग को राहत मिलेगी क्योंकि फाइनली दीज जायंट कंपनीज दे विल एडहेयर टू द गवर्नमेंट्स नोटिस एंड फाइनली गिव यू सम काइंड ऑफ रिलीफ?
डेफिनेटली मिलेगी मैम, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट देखिए जो काम अगर करेगी और वो काम हम लोगों के लिए पॉजिटिव होगा तो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हो या वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट हो, वो काम अच्छे ही होंगे. और ये करना भी चाहिए हम लोगों को, ताकि उसका एडवांटेज मिले, पब्लिक हरास कम हो. पब्लिक को एडवांटेज मिलेगा तो पब्लिक हमेशा गवर्नमेंट को पसंद करती है, उन्हीं गवर्नमेंट को. तो पब्लिक के लिए काम करेंगे तो हर गवर्नमेंट को पसंद करा जाएगा, गवर्नमेंट करेगी भी और इनको मानना भी पड़ेगा.
So as you heard here, very mixed reactions rather we are getting from the people. Some are also saying that it is, the advanced tip option is nothing but a harassment to the commuters, to the consumers, and also now that the government has finally stepped in. So they are expecting a sigh of relief now. Over to you.
Right, very interesting reactions there. Ishika, thank you for getting those important voices from ground, from users of several of these apps. In fact, we are to understand whether an advanced tip feature really violates consumer rights. We're joined by Professor Sriram Khanna, who's the managing editor, consumer voice and consumer rights activist, and Prashant Puri, CEO and co-founder of AdLift. He's a tech entrepreneur. Let me first go across to Sriram Khanna, since he is a consumer rights activist. Mr. Khanna, government, of course, taking action over advanced tips by Ola, Uber. Do you think it is fair that only people who can pay extra tips in advance might get quicker rides? Doesn't this create a system where some people are treated better than others? Don't you think this entire advanced tip system is completely exploitative?
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me. I must say that I and my organization, Consumer Voice, support the action being taken by the Central Consumer Protection Authority against these sharing apps to include a feature where you are asking your customer before the cab is booked to specify how much tip he is going to pay, is putting a customer who is in need of reaching somewhere urgently in a very difficult position. And I think it is being designed deliberately to extract more money out of customers. Well, if the platforms want the drivers to earn more money, let them raise the prices. Why they have to use these extra methods, manipulative methods to extract money? And we have seen this happening in the case of restaurants where they are charging service charge as well. And the CCPA has come down against it. Courts have backed the CCPA. I see no reason why these apps should continue this, and we support the CCPA and hope that it will be able to pass an order restraining these apps and have this feature removed from the apps with immediate effect. Thank you.
All right. I'll take a question to Prashant Puri as well, who's a tech entrepreneur. Mr. Puri, you just heard Sriram Khanna, consumer activist. He's saying that this is, of course, exploitative and this is manipulative and really taking advantage of users. I mean, government has, of course, taken note of advance tips and called it unfair practice. But from a business perspective, since you are a tech entrepreneur, what is the rationale behind introducing an advance tipping feature for faster service? Wouldn't you say this kind of system takes advantage of customers who are just trying to, get to work or home or whatever their destinations are on time?
Oh. So at the end of the day, everyone is in it to make money, right? So Uber is a publicly traded company. They've got to impress Wall Street quarter over quarter. And I think this is one of the ways that they're trying to, increase their top line if they figure out a way to, take some commission out of the tip. So that's, to your first question, I think that's essentially what they're trying to do here. I think it does create a two-tier system, overall, whether it's an Ola or an Uber that has this advanced tip process, because there are lots of people who can't afford the advanced tip, right? And they don't want to pay the advanced tip. So then these apps would be favoring people who have the option or the spend capability of spending more on these apps, and hence creating a two-tier system, which I think is unfair. And then fundamentally, tips are a voluntary act. Like the whole idea of a tip is it is provided after the service, not before. So the key question then becomes, if this passes, what's next? So once, fast forward 6-8 months down the line, you've already given the advance tip and you see the driver isn't moving. So then you see another pop-up feature that says, okay, the driver isn't moving. To make him move a little faster, do you want to pay another 50 rupees? So there's no end to this whole, advanced tip concept, where I feel Ola, Uber, all these guys need to come up with another option, an alternative to maybe search
Prashant,
search
what
pricing.
I wanted to ask is, of course, this is a way to make money as well, no doubt about it. But, of course, this is a consumer-centric app as well, right? So what do you think? What role does consumer feedback? Now, we know that there is feedback. We know that government is acting upon it. So what role does consumer feedback of, say, Sriram Khanna's play in shaping or perhaps modifying such features by apps? Because you have an app for your company as well. So how should companies like yours respond to public outcry?
So this kind of feedback definitely needs to be taken into cognizance by the likes of the brand owners, right? Like the Ubers and the Ola, and I'm pretty sure they're thinking about it as we speak. The last thing that these brands really want is a consumer outcry or a boycott happening because of a specific feature not working. And we've seen this across brands, right? There have been a lot of features that have been that have gone live with the like of a Swiggy or a Zomato, but after an outcry by the public, they've kind of rolled that back. So I see that definitely happening, and being on the tech side, this is trial and error, right? There are certain features that work well for tech entrepreneurs, there's certain that don't, and then they course correct and roll back. So a lot of the consumer feedback would be taken into cognizance here, and I'm sure Uber is going to figure out another way of increasing top line, also increasing, acceptability. So I won't say, this is all negative on the side of an Uber or an Ola. I think what they're looking to do is also incentivize their drivers to accept more. So in the long run, if you have a higher acceptance rate and you have a higher completion rate, there are more rides per day. Right? Whether it's incentivized or non-incentivized, there are more rides per day that's happening, which means there's more payout to the driver, not only to Uber's top line or Ola's top line. So I think there is a good
so this
within
leads
this feature.
To more payout to drivers is what you're saying. Okay, point taken. Thank you, Prashant Puri and Sriram Khanna. We're really running short of time.